Hello everyone and welcome to the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia, I'm 22 and I'm from Germany. First of all, thank you for watching. Thank you if you're returning. I think I can say that now because it's the third episode. And also if you just check this out for the first time, that's amazing. Please stick with it. Today I have the goal to keep looking at the camera and not be everywhere like I usually am. So right now I'm focusing on that, but that might go out of the window in 2 minutes. Also, for the first time, I'm filming with my phone rather than my webcam, because my webcam just had terrible quality. I think my phone is still terrible, but it might be a bit better, and I want to see if the sound is less washed out. So if this makes it onto YouTube, let me know if it's better or worse or whatever. So, first of all, I want to change everything up a little bit today. So I'm gonna give you a really short week review, I guess, and then go into my FOs. I have FOs today. I am work in progress. I want to do some dyeing. I have some spinning to show you, and then I have 2 little segments and some random pondering at the end. So, I figured I'll talk about my week a little bit first because it just makes more sense that way for me. Because obviously how much I can knit and what I'm knitting and so on has to do with how much time I have, whatever. I just get started. So as you already might know, the last couple of weeks and the next 2 weeks for me are like half holidays, because I've had a long exam period and now I still have to do work for uni. I still have to do work for my job, which I finally actually got paid for, because I write paid articles for like a blog for medicine and stuff, and I write about psychological topics. So I'm calling it holidays, but I'm still working, but it's just not as much as I usually do. So I have lots of time, which is amazing. And my boyfriend, who works from home, and me, we have gotten this little routine where we have breakfast in the morning together. Like, we actually buy a proper little bread, stuff, things, and sit down and have breakfast. So it feels like a holiday, even though we are still working a little bit. Well, he's working a lot. I'm working a little bit. So yes, what else has been happening? Not a whole lot, really. The weather has turned very rainy and cold, and I'm actually enjoying it because it's knitting weather, and we've had 35, 36, sometimes even up to 40 degrees, and this is in Germany. And because it's Germany, we don't have air conditioning. It's been crazy hot. And so it's nice to actually have some cooler weather, and I can wear all my knitting stuff outside again, and yes. But that has also been forcing me to drink so much tea and so much coffee and just kind of snuggle up at home. But I quite like that. So that's been my week so far. My weeks are kind of all the same at the moment. Until I go away in 2 weeks, I'm going to Vietnam. And after Vietnam, I'll go back into the uni sort of schedule and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of changing. And as I said, I'm working for that blog thing, which is still relatively new, and I've got my first paycheck, and I'm really excited about it. I'm waiting on even more money, and it just feels so good. So I'm like, yes, I want to buy some yarn, but I'll talk more about that later. So, FOs. I have 2 FOs. I basically finished everything but the thing that I said that I was going to finish. So first FO is my pink little shawl, which I call triangular. So this is in a lace weight. Hang on, let me see if I can show it. It's by Lana Merilux lace, which is a UK brand apparently, even though I've never heard anyone from the UK talk about it. It's a lace weight. I think it has 800 meters on 100 grams, and I used maybe 85 grams. And I knit this on 3.5 millimeter needles. And essentially, I just made this up. I just started down here, and I added 1 stitch on one side and made those little stripes, which are knit 10, purl 10, and so on. And because it's blocked, it gives like a really nice fabric, but I didn't block it very well. So I might have to block that again. But it is so cozy. It's a very fluffy kind of lace yarn, and I really love the color. So yeah, and the funny thing was that I knit this on my Addi lace needles, which I love. And then because I started a new project, I put this one on some really old other, I think it might be Addi 3.5mm needles that were less sharp. And for some reason it went a lot better with that. Like I kind of thought of them as my worst needles, and yeah, but when I changed needles it was a lot better. So I actually added a couple more rows just because I enjoyed knitting on it more, which surprised me. But yeah, so that's that. I'm calling it the triangular shawl. It's nothing like super fancy, but if suddenly everyone wanted to know how I did it, I might just write up a little free recipe. It's really not that hard. Oh, and I added a I-cord on all sides. I don't know if you can see it, but it's lace wool, so it's not very thick the way it usually is. But I just wanted to try adding an I-cord, and maybe it gives it some more stability. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so that's my first FO. And I have one more ball of this yarn lying around. I love this yarn. This is the second project in this yarn. I have one more. And this one bled. I was very surprised because I used a similar one, just lighter, before, and it was fine, but this one bled. So I added some vinegar, and yeah, it's not perfect. But with shawls, I don't really care that much because, I mean, how often am I going to wash them? As long as the color stays mostly on the shawl, that's fine. So, yes. And then FO number 2 is my, hang on, Smooth Move shawl. Yay! So, this has been going on since the beginning of the podcast. And as you can see, it is huge. Hang on, let me see. So this is the end, which I like a lot, with short rows. And then it goes on for ages. And I ran out of grey yarn. I did like fantastic measurements of everything, because it tells you how many meters and so on. And it was completely wrong. I don't know what happened. So I added a grey stripe, and then I added some more blue. And it has an I-cord as well. Blue I-cord, hang on, it's the back side. Going around the whole thing. And this took forever. Let me just put it on. So there's 10,000 ways of wearing this. But because I finished it essentially the day that it got really cold and wet, I have just literally been wearing it like a huge shawl. Sort of like, hang on, yeah, this is not working out. You can wear it like that. Or, like, this is maybe twice my wingspan, it's so huge. You can obviously wear it like that. And what was I saying? Yeah, so I finally finished that. I think I jinxed it because in the beginning, this is knit in 3 sections. And in the first section went really quick, so I put on Ravelry a note like, oh, this went really fast, maybe this is going to be a quick knit. It wasn't. And so the second section, which was this strappy sort of thing, that still was it was kind of entertaining, and then the grey went on forever, and I was hating it. And I wasn't really happy with the pattern, because it was just a bit boring. But now the end result is super, super nice. Like, even my boyfriend has worn this on the couch. Like, it's a blanket sort of shawl, sort of whatever you want it to be. And yes, I should probably mention what it is. This is the Stephen West shawl. It is called Smooth Move. and it's one with a short row construction. And there's a small and a large version, but essentially it's the same version. You just knit it in either fingering or sports, or you knit it in DK or versatile weight. So I don't know. Does that make it small or large? So anyways, I use the Drops. Oh, I don't have it here. Drops Baby Merino, which I think is around a sport weight. I'm not too sure. And it is the first superwash merino that I use, and I'm still not sure if I like it or not. It is really, really good for this project. Like, I think just by pure luck I managed to pick a yarn that goes really, really well with this, because it is so stretchy and the colors are nice, and it's just a really, really soft and wearable fabric. Because I thought about ordering some alpaca. I know this is not supposed to be alpaca, but I didn't care. But this one, hang on, maybe I can show you. This is like super stretchy, and so the yarn goes really well with this. So yes, I am absolutely happy with this. This is also knit on 3.75 millimeter needles, I think. Half of my needles are mystery needles, as I call them, because I got them from my grandma, and so I have no idea what brand they are. I think she bought good needles. I think most of them might be Adi, because that's a German brand, right? I don't know. But yeah, those I had there, I think they are like 20, 30, 40 years old, and they never break, and they're really good. And I always use metal needles these days. I have like huge sets of bamboo sort of needles, and I never use them. I just like the feel of metal. What I would like to do is try those carbons, because everyone's talking about them, so I would like to give that a go, or maybe get some interchangeables. But then I always feel like that sort of knitting stuff is nice, but from that money I could also buy yarn. And since I don't have unlimited money, I usually end up buying yarn instead. Yes, I'm drinking black tea today. It's a Sandapani black tea. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but it's nice. So that's my FOs. My knitting FOs, let me tell. So I will go into works in progress. So yes, the one thing I promised I would have finished, I didn't finish, which are my rainbow socks. So, hang on, big of a mess here. Oh no, oh, they're stuck together. That's not good. There we go. So this sock I had finished last time I talked to you. This is the first of my so-called rainbow socks, and I'm calling them rainbow socks because they're going into the rainbow cowl that Mina from Knitting Expert is posting. So this is what it looks like. It's a Drops Fabel, and let me see the colorway. Whoops. Colorway 903. Hang on, sorry, I'm making a big mess here. 903. This is Fabel. Yay! How exciting! And the second sock. Last time I just started the cuff. I think I was just right underneath the ribbing. And look, it has grown. So I put in the heel. I did the little moss stitch. I'm not sure if that's a smart idea, but I really like moss stitch, so I was like, yeah, whatever. So it's a heel flap and gusset heel. And I'm about halfway done with the foot, probably even more than halfway. I knit most of this last night because we had a friend over, and we were drinking gin, and it was really fun, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep knitting socks. And of course, I made a mistake. I hate making mistakes, and I never make mistakes on my socks, so I was really upset. But yes, I got over it. I just picked up an extra stitch and then didn't want to go back because I thought it would be too loose if I just ripped that out, and so I decreased the stitch and I made a mistake. But yeah, so I need to finish these, but I'm pretty close to finishing. And also, I want to buy some new sock yarn and make new socks. So the best way to finish socks is by buying new yarn, because that motivates you to finish your socks. Sorry, I'm really bad today. These are 2.25 millimeter needles. It's the first time I'm knitting socks on the round with magic loop. and it's plain vanilla socks. I always do 64 stitches, and as I've been watching podcasts, I've heard, for example, Mina talking about how she decreases and increases and does all sorts of funky stuff, and she makes measurements of the feet. And to be honest, I just always do 64 stitches for me. Knit straight down to the heel, decrease back to 64 stitches, and that's it. Like, I think I'm really lucky the way that my socks seem to fit me just fine that way. And when I knit for other people, I have those tables where you can look up if it's a size 38, German size. It will tell you that it's, I think, 56 stitches. So I just go by that, and that tells you when to start the heel and when to start the toe. So I don't measure things. I never try things on when I knit them as well. I just don't. I never ever try socks. I never try. I've never tried a garment either. When I make a shawl, I can put it around a little bit just to check it out, but I don't try things on. I don't even try the first sock on after I finished it. I always wait until I have the second sock, because if it's going to be a bit too tight or, somehow crappy, I don't want to know, because if I do, I won't finish the second sock. So I always finish it first, and then I have the big surprise moment, like, is it going to fit? But with socks, they always fit, so that's fine. So, first work in progress, my socks. And then, what do I do next? I did what every podcaster is doing. I cast on the Pebble Beach shawl, because everyone is doing it and it looks so fun. And the story behind this is I had beautiful yarn. I bought lots of yarn last time, and I showed you. And I was like, okay, now I want to make something, because I finished 2 objects. And all my yarn that I bought was kind of lace weight. And I was like, yay, I can finally do crazy patterns. And then it turned out, I think I searched Ravelry for 2 or 3 hours. And all the patterns I liked, like lace patterns, shawl patterns, they were all in fingering weight. And yes, it was really annoying. And I was just like, I want a nice lace pattern. And I didn't find any. I mean, there is a ton of lace patterns, but none that I liked. And then, yeah, I don't actually have a lot of fingering weight yarn. And I really wanted to use my new yarn. So at some point I abandoned my search and started winding this ball up, because I just felt like if I wind something, I'll have more of an idea of what I want to do with it. So this beauty is Schoppel Wolle, and it's in the 6 Karat or Karat Colorway raw denim. So this is a lace weight. It's 600 meters, 400 grams. It's 80% merino, 20% silk, and you can see how it's like a little bit shiny. And hang on, where's the camera? I'm too stupid for this. No, there's no way you can. It's like it says extra fine ply, but it's like a little thread. Like, you can't twist it open. It's a really interesting sort of plying technique, I think. And yes, so I made a Pebble Beach. Oh, I started one. And as you all know, I think you all know the Pebble Beach is a eyelet pattern lace sort of shawl in 3 sizes, and I started the medium size because I wanted to do the large one, of course. I always want to do the large things, but I didn't have enough yarn or enough yardage. So this is how far I have come. Hang on, I want it to show up. So as you can see, you can't see a whole lot. I think this is only gonna come out nice after blocking it. But yeah, this is what's happening. I think I'm about 20% done, or 15, 20, something like that. And it's a really easy pattern, actually. It is so easy that I even thought about taking this to Vietnam. Crazy person that I am. And the yarn is knitting up very lovely. It feels very good and stretchy. And I'm using my 3.5 Adi lace needles. You're supposed to use 4.0, I think. But I always use 3.5 for everything. And I mean, it's a shawl, it's gonna block out anyway, so who's gonna care? And like I said, I like to use metal needles, and I don't have a 4.0 metal needle, so that's just that. So, Pebble Beach. And this is in my little strappy bag that has ducks inside. No, hang on. It has mice inside. I'm a terrible person. So my 2 project bags that are like actual project bags, my sister made for me, or I helped her, but she does most of the work. So it has a little strip. I like that little strap, and because hang on, it is smaller on up here as it is down here. Things stay in it nice and easy. My 3rd work in progress is in a huge bag. It's a tiny project. I just wanted to use this bag. And there's a little backstory behind this. So these, hang on, tangled. These 2 skeins are skeins that I dyed. This is just 100-gram fingering each. So I wound them up yesterday, I think. And I posted a photo of this on Instagram, so you might have seen that. And I was like, should I make a shawl or socks out of it? And I think 3 people said a shawl and 1 person said socks. So I cast on a shawl, but then I was like, maybe this one would look better. So I cast the same one on with this one as well. So Nessa, she was the one who said I should make socks. These might still become socks. And I made a bit of a surprise out of what pattern I'm making. So let me show you. This is a small one I cast on first, but I didn't like the colors. I love the colors, but I think as a shawl I would look like a giant baby. But I don't know, it's too pink. So, so much tangle. I don't know, can anyone guess yet what this is going to be? Okay. I am making the Sunrays shawl by Mina. Again, sorry, I'm constantly talking about you today. So this is a pattern by Mina from the Knitting Expert, and she has a knit-along. She is having lots of knit-alongs, and right now she's also having the rainbow knit-along. And I was like, yes, I want to take part, it's so pretty, but I don't have yarn, so I'm not gonna do it. And I seem to always jump on the wagon really late. So I did start the rainbow socks for the rainbow knit-along, and then she had a knit-along for this one. And I thought I didn't have any fingering weight, and I wanted to do lace weight. And then I was like, yeah, it's too late to start now, I'm never going to finish in time. Because I think it runs until the 7th of September. But today is already the 20th of August, and I'm going away. But yes, I can see a pattern happening here. I jumped in last minute and I started making the shawl. So I'm almost finished with the stockinette section. It's a really simple setup, like so far. I think the lace is going to be difficult. And yes, I abandoned my stitch markers, so you can all laugh at me when I make a stupid mistake and have to go back. I know it's stupid, but the stitch markers were taking me too long. I hate slipping stitch markers. Also, the ones that I have are too big. I ordered the wrong ones. I really want to get ones of those Ellie's rings thing, but they're expensive to ship. So yes, not sure. So this is gonna turn into like a nice lacy project because you just can't see it yet. And the colors are looking terrible. It is like this color here is a yellow. So this is not as green as it looks. It's like a yellow, turquoise, a little bit of green. I don't know why it's not showing up. I think the light might have changed. I know it's better, that's better. So like I said, this is hand dyed with food coloring. And yes, not that much to see yet. But I am very, very excited. So I'm just gonna put that back in. And I'm knitting this also on 3.5mm needles, just like everything else, besides my sock. So that's knitting, I think. Yes. On to spinning. I finished applying my virgin wool in pink. So last time I showed you a cake that I made which was just spun up, and now I two-plied it. And I think it turned out quite nice. It is very, very, very squishy. And you have like the different shades of pink really do come out. Maybe not on camera. Come on, focus. A little bit. And yes, it is nice and squishy. I think this will be a hat. This might be like a sport or DK weight. I'm not too sure. I think it's not too thick because I hate thick yarns. I don't know if you've noticed, but I never knit chunky things. I only ever really like to knit lace weight and fingering weight. Sport weight is okay. Everything else I don't really like. I like the things that other people make with it, but I don't like knitting with them. So yes, definitely more of a fingering and lace weight sort of person. And I started spinning something new. Hang on, hair is in the way. And I just brought up my spindle. Hang on. So this is it's called Bio Merino. So it must be like a specifically good biological, I don't know, merino. And it is like clouds. Like when I got this, I was like, oh my god, it's like you can't even feel where the fiber begins, and like it's just so soft. And I have been spinning this up into a little single. I have 100 grams. Hang on, focus. Please, come on, phone. Oh well, it's good enough. And I'm just last week I said how I had trouble with the pink one, and I was wondering whether it's my fault or whether the fiber has a lot to do with how it spins up. And I think I'm right, because this one has not broken once. It is perfect. And I'm getting a really good sort of balanced, non-thick and thin yarn. So I'm thinking I want to keep this as a single. I don't want to ply it at all if I manage to keep it nice. So that's the idea so far. And then I'm thinking I might dye it, because I think you can just dye yarn after you spun it, right? So my question for you guys is, do I have to like soak it and then dry it in order to set the fiber, and then soak it again to dye it, or can I just do it all at once? And do you think it'll be different to dye than like normal yarns? I know it's not superwash, so I have to be more careful about felting. But besides that, anyways, I have a lot of this to go, and I really am forcing myself to take my time with this, because I usually start spinning and then I get frustrated and I want to keep doing it and finish it quickly, and then that's when all the breaking and the unevenness and all that happens. So I'm just going to do this for as long as it takes. Might be a month, I don't know. I'm definitely not rushing myself to have this finished before I leave for Vietnam. So it's going to be on the spindle for a while. Yes, that's spinning. Out of the way. I did some dyeing and I'm so excited. Those who follow me on Instagram, my name is the Happy Knitting Podcast. For those of you, you've seen a picture, because I ordered some yarn to dye. I've been looking at that yarn for ages because I love dyeing yarns and I just really enjoy it. And every time I was like, yeah, no, I can't spend money. I should practice some restraint. But I finally ordered it, and yesterday it came. So I'm not going to show you the white skeins, but I dyed 3 skeins, and I'm going to go from ugly to pretty. So, this one. This is ugly. This was the first thing I ever dyed, and it came out in this pale blue-gray, sort of like, here you can see it. And it was ugly. And it's only like 50 grams, 60 grams, so it's not really worth anything. So I actually dyed this up yesterday, but I'm doing it this way around. And I just threw on color, because I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care, my colors are almost empty anyway, so I'm just gonna throw stuff on. So I had some leftover blues and greens, which I put on top. And then I didn't even make like color with vinegar and water. I just, right out of the tube, I put some yellow spots and some red spots. I just put it all on, because I just wanted to be crazy. And then I squished it all together and let everything go everywhere. And this is what happened. So very crazy. It's not super pretty, but I think it's not like it's not like ugly. So this might make like a sock hat or something fun. Or maybe if I ever want to start knitting like little toys. It's not crazy pretty, but it is alright. Now to move on to my prettier yarns. This one. Look how pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is a merino, 100% merino. It is 700 meters. So it's a nice lace weight, and I love lace weight. And this is super soft. It's a 2-ply, I think. It looks like a 2-ply. And I've just put in like shades of pink and purple. I really wanted to do purple, but I think I've reached sort of the maximum of what you can do with food color dyes, because it all was so pale and pastel-y and has a bit of blue. And yeah, so I really wasn't happy while I made this. Like, I didn't enjoy it. I thought I'm ruining this yarn, and I just ordered it, and it was pretty expensive, and so on. And now I really like it. It is so pretty. I'm in love. I'm in yarn love. I'm in yarn heaven. And I made little tags. They're really ugly. I just want to keep track, because I always think I'm gonna keep track, but now I'm doing a lot of dyeing and a lot of spinning and have lots of yarn that's happening. But yes, I definitely like this now. And I mean, this is done just with food coloring, so I'm pretty happy. And then comes my favorite yarn. I'm really excited to show this to you guys. Look at that. Hang on, there's a hair in it. As you can see, my hair goes everywhere. It's ridiculous. So, isn't that pretty? Sorry, you're not supposed to say good things about yourself, but I'm just in love. So, this looks like tropical, like when you go to the beach and it's like blue and green water. So you have like some sort of sea green, pink, oh, pink rubbish, green turquoise, and then I put in some darker blues. Hang on, does that look right? Yeah, it should be fine. And oh my god, I love this so much. I think it has really, really nice colors, and I'm really happy because while dyeing yesterday, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought I was just ruining everything, and yeah, I guess yesterday was just not a good day because my boyfriend was in a bad mood because of things that happened with his work, and it just kind of tore both of us down a bit. But now I'm so in love. And this is also lace, which is perfect because I love lace. And this is it's called Active Fine 800, so it has 75% merino, 25% polyamide, and it's a superwash, and it has 800 meters. So this is gonna make some huge, lovely shawl, and I'm so in love with those two. They're both superwash actually. They feel very different, especially this one. This one has 800. This one's the 800 meter one. It didn't look very nice when I got out of the package. Like, it felt very, like, a bit tough. And while this one, probably because of the polyamide, it feels a lot softer. But now both of them, oh my god, I'm in love with them. Sorry, I'm babbling too much, but I just love these yarns. So here you can see the ugly one and the two pretty ones. And I actually have one more of this to dye up, so I'm excited. I have one more of this. Then I have one sock yarn skein, and then I have a weird one which has 550 meters. I think it's the same Active Fine thing, but it has 550 meters, which is weird. I thought it was a good idea when I bought it, but now I'm like, what am I going to do with 550 meters? Because patterns either have like a skein of fingering, or they have lace, and this one is in between. The 500 meter one is in between. So I'm not sure. But yes, I am very, very happy with this. The whole apartment obviously smells like vinegar, because I use vinegar to set everything. So Kai, who's my boyfriend, has been super, super annoyed by it. He hates the smell, he hates everything about it, and he was very, very grumpy about it. But I don't like the smell of vinegar, but now because I associate it with like my pretty yarns. I actually don't mind it anymore. So yes, he's just gonna have to deal with that. I think I've shown you everything. Yes. Everything that's on here I have told you about. So now on to random stuff. I have created a Ravelry group. It's called the Happy Knitter Podcast group. Or it might just be called the Happy Knitter Podcast. I'm not too sure. And we have 7 proud members. So please join. I would really like that because it just gives you the opportunity to have a conversation, because I have lots of questions for you. And I opened a new thread. I have an introduction thread, which I would be very happy if you introduce yourself. And I make one for the episodes where I put my show notes. So if you want to know more about the patterns, the yarns, and so on, you will just have to enter the group, because I'm not making like an extra blog sort of thing for my show notes. So there you go. And I made a new thread, which I called What I Am Knitting, Spinning, Crocheting, whatever right now. Because I thought about doing a cowl, but I just don't have enough time. But I think it's more interesting to just open the conversation. Like, I'm talking about what I'm knitting, what I'm planning, what my ideas and my thoughts are, and so on. And I would really be interested in what's on your needles right now, what's on your spinning wheel right now, and what you're maybe thinking about. Because I have a lot of moments where I'm like, yeah, should I use this yarn or that yarn, or what to do next, and so on. And I would like to get the conversation started. A few people have already said something which made me really happy. And what they're doing is amazing, and it inspired me a lot. So yes, I would really like that, if maybe we can have some conversation going there, not just me with you, but you guys with each other. And yes, so kind of like, I guess it's like a chatter thread for a cowl, but we don't have like a finish date. It's just whatever you're doing, you can talk about it, you can just look what other people are doing. And yes, I really like that for inspiration. I also will open a thread for like questions and suggestions, so you can post questions to me about anything within reason, and I will answer them. If I have a question by next week, I will make a little segment and I will answer the question, and so on. If there's no questions, I'm not gonna be offended. But yes, and also you can give me feedback, and or if you want me to talk more about a certain thing or whatever, just let me know. And yes, and I might get into the habit of asking you questions as well, but I don't want to be like, okay, I have to think about a question now for you guys. I feel like I have enough questions. Like last week I had a lot of questions about spinning, so I just want to see how that goes. And if I have something that's that I'm pondering about and wondering about throughout the week, I will ask you that, and you can also post your answers, obviously, but I'm not going to force it. So that's that for Ravelry. I have a new little segment, or maybe it's going to become a permanent segment, which is called Podcasts I Love, because I think with podcasts you should share the love, you should spread them, because I mean podcasts are just, they're happy and they're fun, and why wouldn't you want more podcasts? Excuse me. So I just want to talk about some podcasts which I have been finding or watching. They're not necessarily always new podcasts, they're just podcasts that are new to me or just noteworthy podcasts. So last week I talked a little bit about the Wonderful podcast, which I really enjoyed, by Andrea, who is NDJ, on Ravelry. This week I have a few podcasts that I wanted to mention. So I have been watching the Dancing Geek podcast by James, and it is very, very entertaining. James has a lovely British accent, which I really enjoy, and he's just hilarious. Some of his episodes go for like 2 hours, so I don't sit down and watch 2 hours, but the stuff he does is really interesting and entertaining, and he does a lot of different stuff, and he's spinning, he's styling as well, I think, but obviously mainly knitting. And then he did a math lesson about infinity and stuff, and it's just, he's very geeky. I think I'm allowed to say that, and it makes me feel geeky, and yeah, it's just really inspiring. It's just, I have just got into the habit of just logging in every now and then and watching a little bit, and then I log off again. and it's really fun. And another podcast that I have been watching for a couple of weeks and catching up on a couple of old episodes but never mentioned was the Canadian Knitter podcast. Oh, sorry, I forgot your name. Oh, I'm so sorry. But she's this lovely girl. She's really, really funny as well. I think I have a lot of funny podcasts this week. And she, besides, being an amazing knitter, she just has this really fun attitude. I think she always says oh yeah, it's supposed to be that way. I did it that way, but I don't care. I don't care at all. And I just really like that. Why do you have to be so serious about knitting? I absolutely like the way that she talks, and she has a funny Canadian accent, which I enjoy. I love accents. They make me happy. And so I've been watching that a fair bit. I think that comes out every Friday or every second Friday. I'm not too sure. But yeah, she always has me cracking up. And I had one more. What the? Oh, I also wanted to let you know about the podcast Zazu by Zazu Yarns or Woolbox on YouTube. I hope I'm saying this the right way around, by Caroline. And that's also a really funny one. I watched an episode 2 weeks ago. And I don't know, with that one, I wasn't too sure if I was going to watch it again, but I subscribed and I watched a recent one and it's so funny. She has, just some of the stuff she says just cracks me up in the way that she is. And yes, so that's definitely also one that you should check out. And she's also a yarn dye. She has beautiful yarns. So now I'm always oh yes, I want to look at that yarn. I want to buy that yarn. And so yes. Oh, and I have one more with a backstory. So, as you know, last week I bought a lot of yarn. So, and then the day after I bought the yarn bases for dyeing. And then I was really depressed. So I was I spent too much money, and I ran to my boyfriend and I was yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I feel bad and so on. But so I said I wasn't gonna buy yarn until Vietnam, which is in 2 weeks. So I mean, how hard could it be not to buy anything for 2 weeks? Well, I was going good until last night when I started watching the Love Schoppel podcast by Sarah. And yes, guess what happened? Now I want to buy some new sock yarn. I really am. And I feel like I should, because I don't have any good sock yarn. I have the hand-dyed one, which I showed you before. And I have some plain Fabel, but that's boring, and I knit a jumper, so it's just I can't be bothered knitting plain, one color socks. I don't know. So, thanks to you, Sarah, I think I might have to go to the yarn store and buy just one ball of sock yarn today. I think that might be happening. It's very likely. And I also feel like I should, because, I have gotten my paycheck, and it's the 20th, and I've got my paycheck. And yes, I'm also getting some money back from my old apartment, so I feel yes, I should maybe just treat myself and buy some sock yarn. So that is all due to Sarah from the Love Schoppel podcast, which is a very nice one and very addictive one. I don't know, every time, I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes, and there's so many things that I want to do now as well. So yes, that is worth checking out. So, I had something I wanted to talk to you about, and I didn't write it down, because I have a little book here, but I basically just wrote down the segments that I want to do, but I forgot the next one. What was it? Yeah, so I've been doing some planning, because this is going to be a little bit more personal. I hope you don't mind. If you do, just turn off. Because I'm kind of not sure what to do in autumn and so on, so I'm doing my uni, as you know. I'm doing my master's. I'm almost finished. I theoretically could be finished by Christmas, but then I've rushed through a lot of my studies. I've worked really, really hard. I'm gonna take my time now, because I'm only 22. Do I really want to have my master's at 22? So right now the plan is to be finished next summer, and so I don't have a lot of work to do in autumn, fall, whatever. And I thought about doing starting my therapy license sort of thing now. But I'm also not too sure, and the reason for that is because a year ago I started my master's and I worked like crazy. And I didn't have any holidays because I did like an internship, and then from the internship I went straight back into uni, and then my grandma who taught me knitting had a stroke. And this really like tore the whole family down, and it was really hard for everyone. And she is now back at home. She's having difficulties remembering things, but she's okay. But so that cost me a lot of nerves, so that actually made me screw up my uni in the beginning of last semester, just because I was shaken up, and I was the one closest to the hospital, so I was just letting everything slide. And then the last couple of months I've been working for uni like crazy, and I've been studying really hard, and now that my exams are over I'm still working because I have some other things I want to finish or have to finish. So yes, the whole year, or like the last 12 months, have been very intense work-wise. So I'm thinking, this was a long tangent, but I'm thinking about making the next couple of months all about me in the way that I want to focus on my knitting besides uni. I mean, obviously I'm going to do uni. I'm obviously going to keep working because I need to live from something. I need to afford my knitting. But I was also thinking about maybe doing some designing, and maybe, I don't know, like, I know I'm not the sort of person who does crazy complicated patterns, but I'm thinking about doing like some patterns which are easy-ish. So for beginners could do them as well, and just something like a fun knit. And I really like geometrical sort of things, like Stephen West does lots of geometrical play. And I also really want to get more into shaping things with short rows, because I love short rows, and I'm just so fascinated by that. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple of months which are at least partly focused on knitting, and I'm just getting further with my podcast as well, and doing lots of those sort of things. So I haven't really figured anything out. I'm still kind of hoping I'll go on holiday and suddenly I'll be like, yes, now I know what I want to do. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan, because I feel like I have a pretty stable life at the moment, and I'm going to be finished with uni soon anyways, and I'm not in a huge rush because most of my friends who are 22 are like somewhere else in their life, and I'm already like, I feel like really old and grown up. So maybe I want to do something for myself. So I don't know. I hope that there might be some pattern designing in my future, or maybe I would get more serious into dyeing yarn, because I feel like I've kind of reached the limit of food coloring a bit. Like, I still enjoy it, but a lot of things that I want to do, I don't think I can do with food color dyes anymore, because the colors are just not that vibrant, and there's not that many colors that you can make. So I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself. Also, I have been thinking about getting a sewing machine. Actually, that might really be something I might do once I get back from my holiday. But I know if I start sewing, I'll have even less time. Like, it's gonna be a big hobby. So yes, so many like options. Maybe a Etsy store with project bags. Maybe patterns. Maybe, I don't know. I have lots of options, and I really can't decide right now. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that that's something I'm thinking about. Maybe any of you have any advice? If I do decide to buy a sewing machine, I will let you know and ask for suggestions, but I'm not at that point yet. But yes, I think that's enough blabbering about myself for today. I would love it if you came back, if you joined the Ravelry group, if you can add me on Instagram. I am the Happy Knitter. Oh no, hang on. I'm the Happy Knitting Podcast. I should know that. And yes, if you subscribe, that would be very nice, because I feel like the whole podcasting world really works by like everyone doing something. Like, I think I really enjoy doing this podcast, but I just as much enjoy watching all the podcasts. Like, I have this little routine where in the mornings I would go on YouTube and see if any new videos are up, and I'm like, yeah, okay, great. after I do this and that, I can watch the new podcast by whoever just released a podcast. So I am really enjoying this world, and I'm trying to participate a lot on Ravelry forums. But by now I have like so many groups that I really don't know what I'm doing anymore. So it's getting a bit confusing. But yes, Julia, stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it's better than last week's episode was, because I really wasn't happy with that. Let me know how the quality is. Let me know how the sound is. You can even let me know if I look more at the camera. I feel like I've been doing better than before. Yes, just let me know. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great Thursday and Friday and weekend. It's almost weekend again. That's crazy. So I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye.